say anything, cause if I do I might say the wrong words. Oh no. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I lose you if I didn't. Till we find what we're missing and compromise. So I'll keep my shoes on and not leaving. We're on thin ice, winter season. Can't we find a single reason not to say goodbye? Oh, if I said what's on my mind, would you stay with me tonight? If I said what's on my mind, would that make you run and hide? Run and hide. Run and hide. If I said what's on my mind, would that make you run and hide? Would that make you run and hide? Run and hide. Run and hide. Oh, would that make you run and hide? Don't know what to do anymore. I'm out of options, nothing's working. I'm out of service. Come help me now, I'm fucking nervous. I'm trying but can't scratch the surface. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I lose you if I didn't. Till we find what we're missing and compromise. So I'll keep my shoes on and not leaving. We're on thin ice, winter season. Can't we find a single reason not to say goodbye? I don't wanna say anything, cause if I do I might say the wrong words. Oh no. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I lose you if I didn't. Till we find what we're missing and compromise. So I'll keep my shoes on and not leaving. We're on thin ice, winter season. Can't we find a single reason not to say goodbye? Oh, if I said what's on my mind, would you stay with me tonight? If I said what's on my mind, would that make you run and hide? Run and hide. Run and hide. If I said what's on my mind, would that make you run and hide? Would that make you run and hide? Run and hide. Run and hide. Oh, would that make you run and hide? Don't know what to do anymore. I'm out of options, nothing's working. I'm out of service. Come help me now, I'm fucking nervous. I'm trying but can't scratch the surface. So
This is Rob Van Dam, and you're watching Cold TV. Bam.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Wrestling 60, where we recap everything that happened this past week in the world of professional wrestling. I'm Xlj the Og, and back with us again is the one and only Mr. B. Roll.
That's right. You can't keep a good man down. And look at you with that nice cut off sleeveless shirt.
I'm
Got
dropping
them.
some weight, brother. I'm getting them gains. I'm doing my protein bars. Yep, got the
Got
representing the bad guy. It's
got them
hot
guns
too.
out. Welcome to the gun show.
No, I'm not. I don't. I don't
Something,
want to.
something,
I don't want
something
to
like
wake
that.
everybody moist there within the first couple of minutes of this show. So that's for later. Anyways, hey, we got a lot to talk about this week. Matter of fact, the network was like, "Hey, can you guys go on a little early because there's so much to talk about?" And we said, "Sure, we would love to," because a lot has happened in the past couple weeks in the world of pro wrestling. Isn't that right, Mr. B-Roll?
I mean, that is for sure. And I mean, I was thinking as I was watching the intro, right? It's like it's funny how things change in a year, right? But you know what? This is still a week to be celebrating wrestling. It is Mania week. It is Collective week.
Yeah,
Over the
the biggest.
next, yeah, like this is like kind of like kicking off the. It's like it should be a week of celebrating wrestling, right?
Yeah,
Because there's gonna be like wall to wall shows. It's like the March Madness of wrestling, right?
it's our Christmas, and the thing of it is, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what company you love or do or whatever. There's something for everybody on this week, and it all really kicked off yesterday, which we're going to talk about. But before we talk about that, let you hit us with that sweet, sweet line, and we can get this party started.
Yes, indeed. Let's see. So I was awful big, so I'm gonna try to remember this line. Um, I believe it goes something like pitter patter, matter matter, time is ticking, the clock starts now.
There you go, you got it. All right,
We got there.
our top story this week is AEW Dynasty just took place this last night. And man, oh man, oh thank you. Yeah, you're a sexy bastard too, Dad hat. Dynasty taking place last night, and once again, as you kids say, as the children say, it was another banger. I mean, they
Yeah.
knocked it out of the park last night. Before we get into it, what were your overall thoughts on Dynasty?
Yeah, I kind of felt like it kind of was one of those shows where it was like banger after banger. Um, Now, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like my overall takeaway is like, okay, it's not like, oh my gosh, that was the best pay-per-view of all time, blah 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 blah. But it was just a darn good
It was solid
pay-per-view.
from
Yeah.
start to finish. A lot of stories told, advancing on some of the storylines, the many storylines going on in AEW right now. New champions crown too as well, and so much more. It was solid. It's the best. If one word to describe it, solid is what it was. But speaking of solid, man, we got to start here and talk about it. That main event, that dream matchup, if you will, as it was being billed, the God versus the Devil. MJF defended the AEW World Championship against Kenny Omega, the best bout machine. And I tell you what, man, this was a damn good matchup. You talk about a clash of styles. Was it like a typical like Tokyo Dome classic? No. But I mean, it was that style against the style like an MJF who can just adapt to just about any damn thing. And there was great storytelling in this matchup too, as well. I know you've got a lot of thoughts on this, and starting off first and foremost, we talked about this morning about the entrances.
Yeah, I love the entrances. With the whole, I mean, they really went into the whole God versus the devil, and like MJ, I'm sure you know picked up. MJF even had 666 on his like
Oh yeah,
champions
he
gear.
did. Yeah.
Like it's just like, and I don't know, Kenny Omega is just so special, and it's like you kind of realize like when he goes away for a while, it's just like he's he's absolutely nuts. Like when he did that, and I'm not sure of the name of the move, but it's the same move. Like he copied Kota Ibushi, where he goes to
Give
the
me
outside.
keep talking. I'm sorry. Give me just a second. I gotta grab something real quick. My dog got something. I'll be right back.
But like he is literally just like fearless is the word I would use. Like wrestles with reckless abandon, and it's just bar none. It's just quite amazing. This was actually like a really solid matchup. Now, like my question would be, and what I'm wondering is, are we done with this, or like where do we go from here on this? Like we know it's already been announced that Darby is going to challenge for the title on Wednesday in Everett, Washington, where he started his career, which is pretty dope. But I'm just curious and what everybody's thoughts is on like where we go from here with this. Are we done, or I don't know if you could hear me or not.
I heard some. Sorry about that. Reggie got into
No,
something. I don't know what the hell that was.
you're good.
Kids will be kids.
But I was talking about my thoughts are like where do we go from here? Like we know Darby's challenging Wednesday.
Yeah.
But and then I also talked about how like Kenny just wrestles with such a fearless, reckless abandon style. Like are because couldn't you see in you know me all things circle back to Will Ospreay. Would you okay? Let me ask you this: would you rather see Osprey Omega 3 at All In, or would you rather see MJF Osprey 3 at All In?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I think I'm gonna probably say MJF Osprey just because I feel like he's gonna get that crowning moment. But if I mean either neither are wrong. There's no wrong answer there. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I feel like my gut tells me everything points towards that, but I don't know. May not be. Who knows? Because I mean MJF, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens this Wednesday, and we'll talk about that. But overall, I thought this was a tremendous matchup. I like the storytelling, the pacing of it. I like too how like the Kenny like started to kind of revert back to his evil ways. Did you notice that there was like hints of it throughout the match? Where he would just like, okay, I got to do whatever I can to beat MJF. Of course, MJF ultimately retains at the end, with a low blow, as can be expected. But and the Dynamite Diamond Ring. But no, overall, man, it was solid. It was a great matchup. One thing that surprised me is that no Swerve. I thought for sure we were going to see some Swerve Strickland involved, but no, nothing there. So, which I'm kind of happy about because I'm to a certain extent because I mean it just makes it look better for MJF's run here. But yeah, no, overall, man, it was a great matchup, a great main event. I think, like I say, like Wednesday is going to be interesting to see because. And speaking of it, let's talk about it. Darby Allin defeating Andrade. Because remember, the Don Callis family was hired to take out Darby, but if Darby could not beat Andrade from the Don Callis family, he would become number one contender. And here we are. This was a great matchup, a tremendous matchup, almost our match of the week, I feel like. But what really impressed me was I loved about this was the end of this, where Andrade kind of shakes Darby's hand as like kind of acceptance. I was just like, dude, you're more than just like this crazy bastard who can do all this like diabolical stuff to his body. Like, this was a good wrestling matchup. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of that was in here, but I felt this was like a I don't want to say coming out party, but I felt like this was just like what Darby needed to go right into challenging for the title. And the big thing is it's going to happen this Wednesday. And where is Dynamite this Wednesday?
Everett, Washington.
Everett, Washington, which is Darby Allin's hometown. So one would think, holy shit, is this going to happen? I don't think it will. I do feel like there's going to be some bullshit in the match doesn't happen or something. But I don't know. It could. It very well could.
I think Sting's showing up just because Darby said it's showtime.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Well, if Sting shows up, he's winning the damn title, I think. But, man, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this Wednesday on Dynamite. Smart move, too, by AEW by putting that matchup on as part of this massive week in pro wrestling to begin with. And you're going to add that to it. It's going to be awesome. Chef's kiss.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Don't forget they're calling it. They do this every year. They're calling it
Spring break, right?
Spring break-in or whatever. So it should be probably a pretty loaded show. And
yeah, it's gonna be an amazing show. Also, too, we got Willow defending the TBS title. We'll talk about that here in a little bit too. But yeah, it's gonna be an awesome show. But this was a tremendous matchup. But man, speaking of matchups, this is one I think we were all waiting for. Jon Moxley, Will Ospreay for the Continental Championship. 20-minute time limit on this, folks. So I think a lot of us going into this like, okay, 20-minute time limit. I see where this is going. But I think kudos to AEW for not kind of going that easy, kind of dusty finish and making it a draw. First off, Ospreay out of the gate hitting the hidden blade, man, like holy shit, and then hitting it again.
yeah.
Like this was like nonstop from the get go. And then the finish of this was a crazy ass way to end it with like the targeting of the neck and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how you want to chalk it all up, but it felt like it was almost like maybe like it was 15 minutes of Ospreay beating the crap out of Moxley, and then like the last 5, Moxley kind of turning it around, the brutality with the neck.
I mean, that pile driver on the steps was sickening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then hitting the Death Rider, and then the paradigm shift and everything. My God, like this was a rough one. Well, I mean, rough in a sense of like, holy shit, these guys are beating the holy hell out of each other.
Yeah. That exactly. That's what this match was. Like they beat the crap out of each other.
But I think a lot of us surprised with the finish. Didn't like Ospreay coming back. I thought for sure he'd win it, but no. Jon Moxley pulling out the W, retaining the Continental Championship. It's crazy, man.
I was a little surprised by that, but like, and I think like we talked about, like, see, because this one has a lot of layers to it. I feel like because there's a lot going on with Ospreay right now, and like the United Empire and like because I feel like we're creating a narrative of has Ospreay lost his killer instinct, or
that's kind of what it feels like to a certain extent. 'Cause, I mean, he was trying to do some things in this match, and it would seem like maybe there was some hesitation slightly.
Yeah, which I think that's going to lay into like Forbidden Door, and then and like it'll play out through Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door, and all this and all that, and he didn't need the Continental title. Let's just put it that way.
No, I think they've got bigger plans too for Moxley on down the line too with this championship. But nonetheless, this match was incredible. And of course, as our match of the week here on PW60 was the classic between Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley for the Continental Championship. But like you say, I think we're far from over from this feud.
And like, kudos to Moxley, because like, other than I think his mouth bleeding, I don't think he really bled.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it was a physical-ass matchup, too. So, speaking of physical-ass matchups, let's talk about this one for the AEW Women's World Championship. Tekla going up against Jamie Hayter. These two, of course, we know, have met before in the past. Bitter rivals. Adding another chapter into that rivalry. But Tekla, man, Tekla is on a roll. Now, the thing of it is, you can dispute it, like the way she's winning. It's not the... maybe the most heroic or ideal, but at the end of the day, she's getting the 1, 2, 3 and keeping that gold around her waist, and she did just that with Jamie Hayter. What did you think of this women's championship matchup?
I think it's probably been Tekla's best defense
You think so? Yeah.
since
I mean, it's
she's had
yeah,
the title.
pretty solid.
But yeah, I don't know. Tekla scares me, um, but I'm curious at the same time.
As are most people. Yes. But no, this was I'm glad too, because you think about within the span of less than 6 months, Jamie Hayter's had like two incredible challenges for the AEW Women's Championship. That incredible matchup she had at World's End against Chris Statlander in this one. So I'm happy to still see her in the title hunt. Just want to see her get back and get that gold around her waist. But I mean, Tekla is on a hell of a run right now. I don't know who right now in that AEW roster can stop her. I don't know.
I don't either. Maybe we'll talk about her later.
Could, but once again, Tekla is still your AEW Women's Champion. I think we're far from done with this rivalry, but I think it's like one of those things where everybody's gunning for Tekla and the Sisters of Sin. So, but so far, man, they're thwarting off all the challenges. So, be interesting to see.
Yeah, we're not done with this one. With how the finish of this one went, yeah, we're not done with this one.
No, but it's gonna be interesting to see who's next for the Toxic Spider. And how about it? We talked about we had some new champions crowned, and this one, depending on how you look at it, somewhat surprising. I know you called it. Kudos. You said this would happen. I thought it was
not happy
Speedball,
about it, but I said it would happen.
But Kevin Knight was the winner of the Casino Gauntlet match to win the Fankit TNT Championship, and he is your new TNT World Champion. I was really surprised. Like I say, with it being in camp, I really thought his partner Speedball was going to be the one to pull it out. But they did some great storytelling in this one, especially with those two guys, kind of plant some seeds that perhaps everything may not be all as good and well with Jet Speed. What did you think of the Casino Gauntlet match for the TNT title?
So, I mean, first and foremost, it's unfortunate because Kyle Fletcher should not be injured. Kyle Strong.
Yeah. Kyle Fletcher Strong. That was heartbreaking news. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit.
But, I mean, the match itself, kind of what you thought it would be. People are going to come in, they're going to get their spots in. I do agree with you. I like the storytelling between Speedball and Kevin Knight. Like it's like the willingness and ready to go at it. But so okay, I am not the biggest Kevin Knight fan. For whatever reason, he just doesn't wet my whistle. That's probably the wrong expression to use in this scenario, but it's what I went with.
He doesn't make you moist. Oh, that was worse. Sorry.
So, and I think I figured out why.
Why?
Because what can that man do that Dante Martin cannot do? I love Dante.
You're a big Dante Martin fan, so I don't know though. There's something.
Kevin Knight does cut a better promo than Dante.
I was gonna
Martin.
say.
Let's be.
Right. I'm not gonna say like I don't have any. I don't know. He just like it kind of surprised me just because like I thought. I mean, I feel like he's a great competitor. I think he had a tremendous Continental Classic showing. Yeah. But I
don't know. And it's been the same with him in New Japan and like when he like showed up and did stuff with TNA. Like I just never like really cared for him. I don't know why. And yet like he keeps getting these pushes. Maybe that's why I don't like him. Like I feel like stuff gets handed to him too. I don't know. I'm gonna be.
Well, I gotta say this: if you would,
why I don't like him.
If you would have told me before, like going into it, like at some point, like one guy from Jet Speed's gonna win the TNT, I probably would have thought it would have been Speedball first. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. I think this is going to be an exciting run. I mean, he's got some pretty big ass shoes to fill here. You know, following up on Kyle Fletcher, so that will be interesting. You know what?
I'll say this. I look forward to being proved wrong, like with this Kevin Knight's being like TNT title. Yeah, it probably will be good. I do think at some point him and Speedball, like I feel like that's where we need to head. is him and Speedball.
Oh, I think it'll happen sooner rather than later. I would say.
Um,
I think the seeds are definitely there. So
I will say this: I said a lot of negative about him. I do absolutely love when he hits like that UFO like splash though. That is incredible and impresses me every time.
yeah, he's a
So
tremendous athlete. You cannot take that away from him. So
yep.
yep. Kevin Knight though, he's your new TNT World Champion. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see what his run is, and I think it'll be a pretty awesome run. And also, speaking of new champions, we already have new trios champions as the
Again?
conglomeration. A returning Kyle O'Reilly teaming up with Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy would defeat the Dogs, who the Dogs literally won the trios titles the night before on Collision, and a day later they drop them. So I think that shows you everything you need to know about the Dogs. Sorry, Gabe Kidd, I like you a lot.
Sorry,
Charles
Gabe Kidd,
Connors, you're decent. David Finley, you fucking suck. I'm sorry. I've tried so hard to get behind David Finley and watch him, and I'm just like, how you feel about Kevin Knight? Like multiply that by 1,000. That's how I feel about David Finley. I don't get it.
Can't even break a door of his shillelagh.
I know, right? Like, by the way, love that sitcom entrance for the conglomeration. I think that needs to happen more often.
Yeah.
But a tremendous moment for Kyle O'Reilly, man, coming back from injury. If you don't know, Kyle O'Reilly, sadly, about a month ago or in the past month, lost his mother. So it's been a rough go for him. But what a tremendous moment for him last night there in Vancouver, coming back to his home country and winning a championship with his besties. So I love the I can't speak. I love the conglomeration. I hope they have a good long run because I do feel like those trios titles have kind of been hot potato here lately. I always feel like kind of the shorter reigns kind of, I don't know, takes away from the prestige of the title in my opinion. So, but like I say, I'm happy for Kyle O'Reilly to be back in AEW.
I feel like there hasn't been like a good trios reign since like House of Black. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but
no, that's pretty accurate. So, but seriously, man, it's great to have Kyle O'Reilly back, and it's gonna be exciting to see him back in the ring. I would love to see him get back in there with Moxley. I know there was kind of like some stuff going on between them before he got hurt. So, but man, it's awesome to see Kyle O'Reilly back in a wrestling ring. We got to talk about this one. Your AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line. FTR defending against Copeland and Christian. And I tell you what, FTR, they did it. They were able to successfully retain their AEW Tag Team Championship, get a win over Cope and Christian. Of course, for keeping track record of this at home, that is now a tied series between those two, 1-1. But the most important underlying factor here in this one, folks, is FTR is still your tag team champions. You're the tag team specialist. You love your tag team wrestling. What did you think of this classic matchup between these two teams?
I loved it. Probably my favorite part of the whole match was when Christian like literally threw Stokely into the ring to break up the pin.
To break up the pin, yeah.
That was probably like one of my favorite moments of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Along with like the moment that's captured like right here in the picture.
The homage to the DIY against FTR. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
But yeah, this feud's far from over. And like I really like it because FTR they're so good at being heels. And then it's like you have Christian and Cope on this like, I mean, they haven't said it, but kind of like on a retirement tour almost, because I feel like we both know like the end is coming sooner rather than later. But then again, they could wrestle another 50 years. Who knows? But I feel like it all sets itself up so beautifully, like with the road, and like you said, I love tag team wrestling, and I love good storytelling in tag team wrestling, Uh, and a lot of times I feel like tag team wrestling can be better because there's more characters in the story. So,
Yeah. Then
um,
Cope got busted open in that shot with the belt.
no
Was
kidding.
bleeding profusely after that.
I don't know if that was planned or it just happened, but man,
No, my
it
understanding
was,
he was busted open the hard way. So
yeah,
yeah, he was bleeding that crimson mass. That's for sure in this
it
one,
was a gusher.
to say the least. Yeah. But like I say, I'm with you. I love this matchup. I think it's another great chapter in their rivalry. The one thing I did like, did you notice, like, too, how FTR was kind of mocking the Young Bucks during this, and
Mm-hmm.
then hitting their what they call it, the FTR trigger, or trying
Yep.
to. I honestly believe where this is going next, I think we're going to have a triple threat matchup involving these two teams with the Young Bucks. And that is going to be an insane matchup if it does happen. But nonetheless, FTR still got a stranglehold on those tag team titles. So, I don't know if Cope and Christian are gonna win it in this run. I would like to think at some point they will. Maybe that's just the greedy wrestling fan in me or the wishful wrestling fan, but I don't know. But I do know we're far from over from these two teams meeting up against each other. But
See, I almost kind of wonder if, and there's options here, right? So
right,
I almost wondered if, okay, we have a rematch of Double or Nothing. Cope and Christian win there, and then I'm not sure exactly. Well, because I think Forbidden Doors in there too, isn't there? But then I feel like you end it with Cope, Christian, Young Bucks, Wrestle Dream.
oh yeah, that would be a great one. But like I say, far from over from these guys going at it, I think, in the squared circle. All right. This right here to me, I think, is the biggest surprise of the night. And what I mean by that is, like, this match was really good. Like, Chris Jericho against Ricochet, I was expecting nothing from this, but Ricochet looked great, but Jericho looked like $1,000,000 in this one. First and foremost, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Those are some really sparkly pants.
Yep.
But I liked him. Like, I'm noticing with Jericho, like, as the weeks go on, like, he's getting bigger and bigger reactions. Now, I know, of course, he's still in his home country while this is happening, but still, though, like, that crowd was stupid into this. And rightfully so, it was a hell of a matchup. A hell of a matchup. You and I were kind of talking about this. Feels like this is kind of Jericho's last run, and he kind of knows it, and I think he's just kind of go out on his own terms and help different talents and put them over and stuff like that. Because Ricochet kind of shocked us and got the win in this one. Of course, it doesn't help the fact that he's got the Demand by his side, but who caused a lot of interference in this one. But Ricochet, nonetheless, picking up a win.
It was kind of a breath of fresh air to see Chris Jericho kind of on the other end of it. Because normally it's always like Jericho had like the Jericho Appreciation Society, and they always have the numbers advantage, and or even like the learning tree, like it was a lot of times it had been like a lot of rinse and repeat, and I feel like this is maybe the freshest we've gotten in a while, and it's just kind of like, okay, play the hits, like the you just made the list and all that stuff, and don't draw it out though. Because in my opinion, Jericho is one of the goats, and
yeah, regardless, yes,
like I don't know. I feel like he was starting to like tarnish his legacy, but like just go out on top.
I think that's a fair assessment. But he looked great, man. Like I said, a dynasty, and I'm intrigued to see where Jericho goes from here, man. To be honest with you, I never thought I'd say that because, man, the learning tree was rough. This was a great matchup though. And
Now remember though, Remember though, we liked the learning tree when it started.
Well, yeah, and then it really wore its course out. But to what I really love, the in-ring debut of Okada Jackson. Look at Okada, looking like a young buck. Let's talk about the opener matchup of Dynasty, which was incredible. The Young Bucks going up against Kazuchika Okada and Takeshita. Dude, this matchup was awesome. Like, so much going on in this one, so many stories. Of course, we know the rivalry between Takeshita and Okada, how long it's been going on, and unfortunately for Takeshita and Okada, they were forced to team with each other as part of Don Callis' plan. Now, remember what Don Callis said as part of this is like, hey, if you do this, then guess what, Takeshita? You will get a championship matchup for Okada's international title at Double or Nothing. So it looks like we're getting Okada and Okada and Takeshita one-on-one. This was a great solid tag match. I love the story being told throughout it of the dynamic between Takeshita and Okada. The finish was strong too, with Takeshita just saying like not going to interfere and just let him hit the Meltzer driver to pick up the W. What'd you think of this opener at Dynasty?
I mean, I think you said it absolutely best. I love the storytelling of he's got the foot, and then he kind of realizes, and then he just kind of lets it go, lets it happen, and yeah, I absolutely love it. And also, I know some people get mad about like Okada and how they're using him and how like he's being booked. But I'm also like, I had the thought, like, did you ever think that maybe like Okada was tired of being like the top guy and like being the face and like was just ready to just have fun?
Yeah, possibly, but I mean, I think he's doing some of his best work, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
it just seems like he's having fun. Is the thing.
He's still
No,
prominently
he's not.
featured.
Yeah, he's not
strong
New
as
Japan
hell.
Okada, but he's having fun. He's got great comedy timing. Like,
And I mean, my God, his in-ring's incredible. So, yeah, you can't like Okada. I think is going on one of his better runs, which says something because I mean, we know like the New Japan stuff is legendary. But the stuff with Takeshita has been awesome, and obviously it's coming to a head at Double or Nothing when they meet one-on-one, or at least it appears they're going to be meeting one-on-one. But we got a lot of time between now and then to Double or Nothing.
sure Don Callis try to weasel out of that somehow.
Oh, there's going to be something, you can damn well bet you. I'll tell you one thing too that really impressed me about Dynasty was I think maybe one of the better, if not the best, 0 hour they've ever put on. The pre-show was incredible. Not a bad match on this show. Of course, let's talk about the Divine Dominion successfully retaining their AEW Women's Tag Team Championships against Hyan and Wendell. Like, dude, this match, this match was fucking awesome. Like, I was so impressed with this matchup. Once again, you're the tag team guy. What do you think of this encounter for the tag team titles? Because I feel like this match kind of came out of nowhere, and it was like, holy shit, that's a good match.
Yeah, it's like I feel like for like the first time, maybe Divine Dominion kind of got pushed a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment.
And I think it's kind of like one of those things of like, in like, I remember basketball growing up. Our coach would always tell us like, don't play to the level of your competition, right? Like, I kind of feel like Divine Dominion like didn't expect anything like out of them, like expecting kind of like just like a squash match, and like lo and behold, they were in a dogfight.
Yeah. Yeah, they really were. This was a tremendous back and forth. It went way longer than I anticipated, but Divine Dominion successfully retaining their TNA or their AEW women's tag team titles. Speaking of retaining, too, we got to talk about Jack Perry successfully retained his national title against Mark Davis. Talk about a clash of styles in this one, man. But this was an awesome matchup, too. You and I were talking about this on the pre-show yesterday. The Mark Davis, man, he's just so impressive. And for him to rebound as many times as he has so far, AEW has been incredible. First part of Aussie Open and then gets hurt. And then Kyle Fletcher just takes off like wildfire. He comes back from injury. They put him in the Don Callis family. Then him and Jake Something are going to be a tag team. Jake Something gets hurt, and now he's kind of back in singles. But Dunkzilla, man, like you can't deny Dunkzilla. He's a bad mamma jamma.
Yes, he is.
But Jack Perry, man, going strong, still retaining his national championship. I think it's going to be a minute before Jack Perry drops that belt, man. Because if he can fend off challengers like Mark Davis, he can fend off any challenge just about, pretty much. But this was a badass matchup, man. Speaking of badass matchups, too, let's talk about Alex Windsor. Alex Windsor. And going up one-on-one against Marina Shafir. The problem, a tremendous back-and-forth matchup, but Alex Windsor would get the win there. Of course, giving the Brawling Birds some momentum going into that Women's Championship matchup. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way. But I don't know. I could seriously see Alex Windsor being the next one in line for the AEW Championship, challenging against Tekla, which that'll be a badass matchup too. But there you see, she is holding her New Japan Women's Strong title up, successfully defeating one Marina Shafir. But the big surprise we got to talk about, Camille is back in AEW. It's been, what did they say, 18 months or something she's been out with injury and whatnot, and she made her triumphant return. Of course, on the pre-show, she blatantly attacked Willow Nightingale, the TBS Women's Champion, kind of messed up her shoulder. Willow tried to come out and extract some revenge, but it didn't go quite as well for her. Of course, Camille winning in her return. And we now know this Wednesday on Dynamite, another tremendous matchup. It is going to be Camille challenging Willow Nightingale for those TBS Championship. B-roll, I think we may have some champion, at least a couple new champions, or at least one new champion coming out of Dynamite this week. And I hate to say it, I love me some Willow, but I don't know. I think Camille has got a chip on her shoulder. Of course, remember when she left too, she kind of had that dispute with Mercedes. And, well, we know how well that's worked out for old Mercedes. But Camille is a badass, so it's gonna be interesting to see. What do you think of seeing Camille once again in an AEW ring?
Just glad she's back.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know, just got worried there that it was just gonna, unfortunately, maybe be like one of those that got lost or something, and because I'm just like, there's so many matches I want to see. Like, I don't know when, but at some point, we have to have like Megan Vane versus Camille.
Yep.
Camille versus Chris Statlander.
Yep.
Has that already happened?
Maybe, but it doesn't matter. I want to see it again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of matchups, but Camille brings so much to the table. She's a tremendous competitor. Remember, she's one of the American Gladiators too, so coming in time just for that too, which that show I think debuts later this week. So nonetheless, Dynasty was an incredible show. Like I say, the best way I can describe it is just solid from end to end. Catch a replay of it and catch it over on Max. Catch it on I think you're still on Amazon, right? You can catch it just about anywhere. So you got to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, they just like it breaks down so weird, like with the different countries and stuff. Like,
yeah,
the best deal you're gonna get if you have Max, buy it on Max because it's gonna be
$40. $40. It's $40 well spent. But I tell you, we had some tremendous, huge, massive shows in the world of pro wrestling this past week outside of Dynasty. We go back over a week ago. New Japan Pro Wrestling hosted Sakura Genesis, and B-roll. It's what the wrestling world is talking about. It's got to be I don't know if it's the biggest story of the year so far, but it's the biggest upset of the year. we have a new IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and it's the United Empire's own Callum Newman. This came out of nowhere. Because if you know typical traditional New Japan Pro Wrestling build, usually it's like a long build. But Callum Newman, man, on his, I think this was his second try, really. He had a title match last year against Hiroki Goto, but he made history, multiple histories. He is officially the youngest IWGP Heavyweight Champion of all time. He beats the former Shinsuke Nakamura just by a couple months, but this young man's only 23 years old, and he's already a world champion and holds one of the most prestigious titles in all of pro wrestling. This one was interesting, too, because Will Ospreay was in his corner, and Callum Newman, if you've been watching New Japan, you know, like, he is kind of like, this is my time now. I'm going to take what's mine. By any means necessary. At one point, it looked like he was going to use a chair on Tsuji. Will Ospreay thwarted that away. But still, the finish of this, too, Callum Newman ultimately handing a low blow, and then able to hit his finisher to put off Yota Tsuji. B-roll. What do you think of our new IWGP champion?
Came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Really? It really did.
The youngest IWGP champion of all time.
The youngest New Japan Cup winner too, as well.
Has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, and technically he's a Gaijin, so I mean that's the thing with all this too. Is like for a Gaijin to win a championship like this fast in their career in New Japan, this is B-roll. This is unheard of. I can't think of anybody that's been in the company for such a short period of time, a foreigner, and to win the world title, like that is a feat I don't think we'll ever see again.
The way I looked at it, New Japan had to do something to shake things up, and this is a step in the right direction.
You think so, though? Because, I mean, Tsuji was just getting started with his run, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the sense of, like, I feel like they've lost so many. Like, I don't know, 'cause, like, with this new guard, like, I feel like the whole thing is like we have to establish viable champions, and viable contenders. It's like all the old faces are gone. There's no Ospreay. There's no more Okada. Like. I know that like they've been gone for a couple of years, but it's like if it's not the Three Musketeers, like who else is it? Like,
true, yeah, and I mean it makes sense. It adds more to this incredible story that's going on with him in the United Empire. But congratulations, Callum Newman. He's your new IWGP champion, and of course, he's our wrestler of the week here this week on PW60. Hell, we probably should have Wrestler of the Week. We won the New Japan Cup, but we honestly didn't think we would be having this conversation right now. But I mean, I'm happy. I'm excited for it to see just new blood in that title. So, man, tremendous effort by both. But Callum Newman, once again, is your new IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
See, and like I know it's two different factions, but like this is almost like what I expected. How David Finlay was going to be booked in New Japan.
Yeah, and they realized, nope, we're not hitching our wagon to him because he sucks. But this is the better one of the dogs. Let's talk about this and a shocking move at the end of this matchup. Gabe Kidd in a mask jumping Yota Tsuji, taking him out. Poor Yota Tsuji had a rough night, man, at Sakura Genesis. He loses his IWGP championship. He gets the shit kicked out of him by his former stablemate and rival and Gabe Kidd. Now, one thing we did forget to mention earlier about that matchup, and this is kind of like some late breaking news, but Gabe Kidd was taken out of that matchup due to injury. My understanding is a separated shoulder. He's going to be out for a little period of time. Looking kind of ahead, we're going to have a preview for Wrestling Dontaku, which this matchup was originally scheduled for. I believe it was on night 1. But I don't know, maybe in serious jeopardy. But regardless, it's going to happen at some point. But poor Suji, man, like he did not have a good weekend. I'm telling you. But you can't win them all.
Poor Suji.
Poor Suji. Speaking of Three Musketeers, let's talk about this one. This is a tremendous matchup. Shota Umino challenging Takeshita for the for the New Japan Pro Wrestling television title. And this one did go the full time limit. So I feel like at some point there's going to be a rematch here. I love it because you know how we feel about Shooter. We think Shooter is the next guy in New Japan. And for him to have this rivalry with a guy like Takeshita, it elevates both these guys to the next level. But this is a tremendous matchup. I'll tell you another tremendous matchup. We don't got a slide for it, but honestly, this was my favorite matchup of the night, was the match for the tag team titles. The KO brothers, right now, if you was to say, XLJ, who is your tag team of the year? Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Knockout Brothers. Yuta Ice and Oscar are killing it right now. I mean, absolutely killing it. But they had in my opinion, I think was the match of the night on this show, successfully retaining their tag titles over TMDK. It was a tremendous matchup. But the big winners of the night was United Empire, because we mentioned it too. Will Ospreay coming back to join up with Hanare, with the Great Ohan, to get a big win for the United Empire. And of course, when he was there, he had a favor to ask. It was for the United Empire, for his help, because as he said, he had some trouble at work. And boy, oh boy, you talk about a bone-chilling moment. Let's talk about Dynamite from this past week.
This was so dope.
This was so good. Look at the United Empire showing up. Francisca, Hanare, and of course your new IWGP champion, Callum Newman. And awesome, too, to see Will Ospreay's wife, or soon-to-be wife, I should say, Alex Windsor, to help thwart off Marina Shafir. Going to war at it with the Death Riders, which would lead to the Chaos in Canada matchup between these two factions. The United Empire picking up a big win, but you and I were talking about this. Notice how the pin goes down here. It's not Ospreay getting the pin there. It's Callum Newman and Ospreay. The seeds are planted there between Newman and Ospreay, and we truly do kind of believe that this matchup could potentially take place at Forbidden Door, perhaps. But man, oh man, what a tremendous main event matchup that was on Dynamite for the Go Home show. May have been one of the best Go Home shows I've seen. Like that United Empire segment was incredible. I know you loved it.
Yeah, I absolutely like okay, if I'm to compare it to something, so for MCU fans out there, when Team Iron Man and Team Captain America.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what I compare it to. Like
that's
the
comparison.
only thing. That's the only thing I can compare it to. It was that awesome.
Yeah.
But I loved everything about it.
But as we said, Dynamite was a tremendous show from this past week as the Go Home show for Dynasty. What a matchup for the TBS Women's Championship with, once again, the fighting champion Willow Nightingale defending against a returning Queen Aminata. Queen Aminata looked incredible. It's great to see her again. I hope they run this back too soon, man, because these girls went at it in a tremendous matchup. Of course, Willow Nightingale successfully retaining her TBS Championship. Also, Tommaso Ciampa, Masquerade Dorada, an incredible matchup where Ciampa would defeat him to earn that #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet matchup. What a way to start the show, too, as well. With Darby Allin, Jack Perry, and Bandito going up against the Don Callis family. Man, it was like I say, maybe one of the better go-home shows I've seen in a long time. Man, AEW was just, we say it all the time, but they're just firing on all cylinders, and this week was incredible, including Collision, too. Mentioned earlier, the show started off with the Dogs beating Jet Speed and Mystico for the Trios Championship. We got to see Roosh defeat Anthony Bones in an incredible matchup to get that #2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet matchup. Okada and Myron Reed was so good. I love me with some Myron Reed. We know, we both love Myron. Myron kind of like from our neck of the woods. We've talked to him several times. He's such a good dude. Deserved that opportunity. Getting a shot at that international championship from Okada. The Hurt Syndicate's back too as well. So great to see them back in action. The Young Bucks continuing their war with the Don Callis family going up against Hechicero and El Clone. The main event was awesome, too, with the Brawling Birds getting a big win against Marina Shafir and Tekla. Like I say, man, Collision was awesome this past week. Dynamite was awesome. Dynasty was incredible. Can't say it enough. Solid week for AEW.
Yeah, I noticed, like, Collision was a lot more match heavy, and then Dynamite was kind of
it was. It was.
Set like segments.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, oh man, what a tremendous week AEW had. What a great kickoff to this incredible week we have ahead of us. As the Collective is here, folks, it kicks off this Wednesday. And let's go to one final control center for the Collective. We're going to run down everything you're going to see in the upcoming next 4 days here. Check this out.
Welcome back to the GCW Collective Control Center, presented to you by PW60. The Collective comes to you live from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada at the Horseshoe Casino and begins this week, April 15th to 18th. Here's a rundown of some of the shows and matches you will be seeing as part of the Collective. Action kicks off on Wednesday, April the 15th at 3 p.m. with Pottermania. For the Potter World Championship, Brittany Blake will defend against Shotzi Blackheart. Gypsy Mac will take on Brittany Brooks and Izzy Marino in a triple threat. Jazzy Yang and Toga will take on Amira and Little Mars in tag action, and Shaza McKenzie will battle Nikki XS, and so much more. Action continues Wednesday night at 8 p.m. with Dragon Gate's The Gate of Sin City. In six-man tag team action, it will be Dragon Kid, Kazai, and Yuka Yoshiko taking on Madako Kakuka, Ishun, and Yoshika Kato. Yamamoto takes on Jonathan Gresham. Susumi Yokosuka battles Marcus Mathers, and so much more. Then action concludes at midnight with Hybrid Wrestling presenting Midnight Express. Highlights include PCO taking on One Call Manders. Gangrel will meet Matt Tremont. Mercedes Martinez will battle Priscilla Kelly. A triple threat tag action, it will be Effie and Joey Janela taking on Buster and the Brain and the Backseat Boys. A Skywalker Scramble match, and so much more. Action kicks off on Thursday at 11 a.m. with Progress Wrestling's Las Vegas Chapter 193. For the Progress Men's World Championship, Man Like Therese will defend against Michael Aku. For the Proteus title, Paul Walter Hauser will defend against Big Damo. Riho will take on Fert Vixen as part of the Women's Strong Style 16 tournament. And in Men's Strong Style 16 tournament action, Ethan Allen will take on Leo Rush, and so much more. Action stays hot and heavy at 3 p.m. with the Mark Hitchcock Memorial Super Show. The Demand will take on Jet Speed and Michael Oku. Bandito will battle Galino Del Mal. The Headbangers will meet Rhino and Heath Slater. Masato Tanaka takes on Mark Davis, and so much more. Then on Thursday night at 8 p.m., New Japan Pro Wrestling and El Desperado present Death Invitational Vegas. Nick Gage and Matt Tremont will battle El Desperado and Ju Kasai, and Maksika Taika and Rina Yamska. Effie will battle Jimmy Lloyd and Isha. The Dragon Kid and Starlight Kid will battle El Phantasmo and Amir. Action concludes Thursday night at midnight with MDK Fight Club. Hayabusa and Masato Tanaka will take on Bear Bronson and Mr. Danger. Vipers battles Rina Yamska and Charlie Evans in a triple threat. Slade will meet Dr. Redacted in a no-ropes barbed wire match. John Wayne Murdoch battles Toby Klein, and the Deathmatch Hall of Fame inductions of Megumi Kudo. Action kicks off on Friday at 11 a.m. with Gringo Locos The World on Lucha. Vipers will meet El Desperado. Galino Del Mal will take on Jack Cartwheel. Thunder Rosa will meet Ulicia Mexa. Team Dragon Gate will take on Team Gringo, and the Mexa Boys will meet Malafama and Rey Horles. Action continues on Friday at 3 p.m. with Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 15. Josh Barnett will take on Yuji Nagata. Natty Neidhart will meet Shayna Baszler. Mina Yamshka will meet Janai Kai. Timothy Thatcher will battle Charlie Dempsey, and so much more. Then on Friday night at 7 p.m. it's the biggest independent wrestling show of the year, Joey Janela's Spring Break 10. Joey Janela will meet Brody Lee Jr. in his first singles match. The Sandman's last match, as the Sandman will take on the Invisible Man. Effie will battle Alley Catch in a loser leaves GCW match. Hayabusa will challenge Atticus Cogar for the GCW World Championship. The Jurassic Express take on Sam Stackhouse and KJ Orso. Mance Warner and Steph DeLander will meet Megan Bain and a mystery partner. The Rascals will take on the Busta and the Brain and Marcus Mathers. And the Grab the Brass Ring ladder match. Action concludes on Friday at midnight with JCW Stranglemania. Mr. Happy, Congo Kong, and Beastman take on the Rock and Roll Express and George South. Kerry Morton will meet Mickey Knuckles. The Brothers of Funstruction will take on The Outbreak. It will be a 6-man scramble match for the JCW American title. Facade defends against Mecha Wolf, Ninja Mac, Disco Ray, Charlie Haas, and Mosh Pit Mike. And in tag action for the JCW Women's Championship, Big Al, Alice Crawley, will defend her title along with Danny Moe against J-Rod and a mystery partner. Too Tough Tony, Willie Mack, and Rob Van Dam will take on the Good Brothers and Kenta. And it's a double main event. First, you will see the JCW World Championship on the line with Matt Riddle taking on Cocaine, Nick Nemeth, and Caleb Conley. And in Vampiro's retirement match, Vampiro will take on PCO and Big Vito. Action will kick off on Saturday at 11 a.m. with Effie's Big Gay Brunch in a dream match. Effie will take on Zack Sabre Jr. Nyla Rose will meet Dark Sheet. Mercedes Martinez will meet Viperous. Charlie Evans will meet Alley Catch, Steph DeLander, and Kid Bandit in a fatal 4-way. Mad Dog Conley will take on Brick Savage. And it's Pero's Highway to Hell, Tweaks Unleashed. Then action will conclude on Saturday at 10 p.m. with the Immortal Clusterfuck. For the GCW Ultraviolet Championship in a Hardcore Kingdom Steel Cage match, Otis Cogar will defend against Matt Tremont. And then it's literally the biggest match of the collective, the Immortal Clusterfuck. Participants include Starman, Toby Klein, The Human Tornado, Pero, Ricky Sosa, Santana Jackson, Slade, Beastman, Viperous, The Green Phantom, Spider Nate Webb, Matt Mako, Dr. Redacted, Man Like DeReese, Sam Holloway, Bobby Flacco, Tombstone Jesus, KJ Orso, Tara Sepp, Mullet Man, Hollywood Haley J, Monomoth, Brooke Havoc, Killer Kelly, Anakin Murphy, Dark Sheik, and Marcus Mathers. GCW's The Collective, in collaboration with WrestleCom, takes place this Wednesday, April 15th to the 18th, live from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada at the Horseshoe Casino. And don't forget to tune in to Cole TV next week for our very special Collective Week.
Well, there you have it. A ton of action coming to you here this Wednesday. It all kicks off in Vegas. The greatest time of the year. The Collective's incredible. And, hey, if you know, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to try to make it to all these shows. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the Wednesday shows, but after that, I'm going to try to make it to every show. And tune in next week because we will have a ton, and I mean a ton of vlogs as part of our annual Collective Week. It's the most wonderful time of year. So, and of course, if you see me out there, say something, man. Say hi, say what's up, you know. We'll hang out, go gamble, maybe have a couple of brewskis, have some libations, if you will. But it's going to be an awesome, awesome time, man. This collective is, every collective's always special, but this one's going to be loaded, man, too. I can't wait for that Joey Spring Break, man. That show is going to be incredible. But
yep. I can't wait for that and the cluster and then the Progress show always delivers.
Oh my God, Progress is going to be awesome. I'm excited I'm going to see Yuji Nagata for the first time in person. I'm excited about that. Mark Hitchcock show looks solid. It's going to be interesting to see that New Japan show. JCW, my first JCW. It's going to be an awesome time. Cannot wait for the collective. But you know what?
Juggalo.
Not the only show in town, though, my friend. As we know, like everybody's running. One of the bigger shows coming up is Slam Fest, which will be taking place from the Palms. Of course, the Palms, I was there last year for the collective. This year, they're getting Slam Fest, this collaboration between CMLL and Tokyo Joshi Pro and House of Glory and Maple Leaf Pro. Yeah, but here's some highlights of some of the incredible matches you're going to see. The Prince of Princess. So it's going to kick off on Thursday at 11 a.m. with Tokyo Joshi Pro. And on that card, you're going to see the Prince of Princess Championship on the line with new champion Yuki Arai defending against J-Rod. Also, the Inspiration will defend their Princess Tag Team Championships against Shoka Nakajima and Hyper Masao. The International Princess title is going to be on the line too, with Susumi defending against Sakura Hattori. It's going to be an awesome, awesome show. And by the way, you can catch all the Slamfest shows as well as the collective shows on Triller TV too. So, only difference is you do got to pay for the Slamfest shows if you don't have a subscription. But the CMLL show is going to be awesome. That'll take place on Thursday at 3 p.m. Of course, when I say these times, keep in mind that is West Coast time since we are out in Vegas. But the highlight of that one, man, the CMLL Championship on the line, Hechicero defended against Mystico. Oh, my God. Like, that's worth the price of admission alone right there. Also, you're going to get Claudio Castagnoli against Atlantis Jr. What a matchup between legends here. Blue Panther going against Ultimo Guerrero. Persephone will defend the CMLL World Women's Championship as well. And then rounding out the action that day on Thursday is going to be House of Glory's Culture Clash. You got Charles Manson will defend the House of Glory Championship against Michael Oku. Also, you're going to see the Hardys defend the tag titles against the Good Brothers. Shotzi will be defending her House of Glory women's title against Charlie. And don't forget Brody King and Silo Fatu and Bandito and Amazing Red, as well as Ricky Soso against Cashflow. That's going to be an awesome show. The action will pick up Friday with Stardom. Stardom will be in the house, and what a hell of a main event they got. Alex Windsor to defend her New Japan Strong Women's title against Saya Aidai. And we've also got Athena will be going against Rina. Also, I'm excited about this one. Mina Shirakawa and Maki. Great to see Mina Shirakawa back in a Stardom ring, going up against Hanukkah and Yuarhim. That's gonna be an awesome show. And then action rounds out there Friday night with Maple Leaf Pro presenting Multiverse. This is going to be a badass show, man. You're going to have Mystico and Masquerada Dorada going up against, and the Amazing Red going up against the Rascals. Your Maple Leaf Pro Women's Championships on the line with Giselle Shaw defending against Persephone from CMLL and Shotzi Blackheart. Hechicero will defend the CMLL Championship against Jonathan Gresham. Holy shit, that's going to be a good one. Also, Stephen Borden is going to be in action. That's Sting's son. It's going to be an awesome show. It's going to be an awesome week, man. There's just so much wrestling going on if you're in the Vegas area. I know if you're just going for WrestleMania, that's cool and all, but please do yourself a favor and check out some of all these amazing independent wrestling shows because they are so freaking many.
I would say this. If you are going out there for Mania and you don't try to go to at least one of these shows, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, you really are because there's just so much good shows. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, this fucking asshole.
Yeah, I kept wanting to say
Take it away.
I know what matches are happening.
Yep, some matches got taken off the table because of this guy. Carlos Silva saying TNA wrestlers they had to pull some from some shows due to partner conflicts. Here's the thing. So he pulled the big ones are we were supposed to the main event of the Mark Hitchcock show, the main event that was booked out months in advance. Leon Slater was going one-on-one against Ricochet in a dream matchup. But now that match wasn't going to happen because he's butthurt about, AEW is working with TNA. Of course, also, we announced a couple weeks ago that Creative Pro show was going to be Nick Nemeth and MJF one-on-one for the first time ever, and that had been building for a while. But now that's not happening. Thanks. But you know what? I guess I'm sorry, I'm very passionate about this, but I guess Carlos Silva, we should let him give an explanation for this, and this is pretty impressive for us. We were able to pull some strings. We actually do have a response, a video from Carlos Silva about his actions and why this was done, why this was such a big issue of the partner conflicts.
Good, because I want answers.
Yeah, he's going to explain it to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go to Carlos Silva with his response to all this controversy.
Good evening. I am Carlos Silva, president of Total Nonstop Action, TNA. And I've noticed the backlash from a lot of folks over recently pulling talent away from shows featuring wrestlers from All Elite Wrestling. Well, I would like to just say real quickly, just clear the air, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we got cooler friends than you. Holla! It's like we got a special friend or two from a little company with 3 other letters, you know what I'm saying, baby? Uh-huh. Yeah, you know, me and my friend Hunter, you know, Mr. Levesque, you know, we like to get together and play some Mario Kart, baby. Naked ass Mario Kart. And we're playing that shit. He's telling me, baby, I don't want your peanut butter in my chocolate. All right, I don't want their peanut butter in my chocolate, because our shit swirls all together. You know, we get chocolate on each other, we lick it off, but we don't want that other peanut butter mixed in there. You know, those are tainted goods. We don't want to taint our wrestlers, who are technically his wrestlers. Because let's be honest, WWE, TNA, same thing at this point. You know, like, I kind of feel like at this point, I should be in the WWE Hall of Fame already, you know. Vern Gagne's in there. You know, he never wrestled there, so I've been a TNA president for a cup of coffee. I'm already the best ever, you know. We're seeing heights that we have never seen before. So, yeah, we don't want that AEW scum, you know, up in, touching our wrestlers, all right? They got cooties. Let the record show that AEW wrestlers have cooties. And we don't want a cootie outbreak. We already had a lockdown 5 years ago with that flu shit going on. We don't want none of that shit going on anymore. You know, I love Paul. I kissed him on the mouth. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's 2026. A man wants to kiss another man on the mouth. He can. He can fillet a man all that he wants. He touches the dangly thing in the back of my throat on a daily basis. I look up and I say, thank you, Daddy Trips, or in this case, Daddy Drips. Let's be honest, you know, they're a big company, and they're basically our new overlords. Like, they're eventually going to buy us, if they haven't already done so. And, you know, we ain't got no soul. I ain't got no soul. I'm a bitch. Carlos Silva is a bitch. And, you know, I take it. I take it all. Because I'm a team player, and I care about my wrestlers. I don't want to pay them anything, and I wish for them to not receive any extra money and fuck their families and their moms. But, you know, that's the game of life. You know? You know? Triple H gives it to me so hard from behind, passionately. And, like, I got neck muscles like an owl. I got 14 muscles. I mean, I'm able to turn around and give him a little wink to let him know that he can finish. And I take the TNA hat off you see me wear, and I tell him to finish there. What he's finishing with, I can't say. We're on YouTube. You know, it's got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I've slapped an old woman before at a CVS. I'm like, if you give me $5, I will punch a puppy. Like, I apologized to Leon Slater, and things shook his hand. I spit on my hand before I shook his hand. He was a little grossed out. Did I say I would punch a puppy? I would. Carlos Silva, away. If Triple H, if Trips and Drips, Hunter, told me, hey, here's $5, French kiss your mom, I'd tell him, I don't need the money. Come over here, Sue.
Oh my God, that's my mom's name. Anyways, there you have it. There was Carlos Silva's words in response to this controversy. I don't think you can sum it up any better than that. I didn't know humans could have owl muscles. I get the reference though. Anyways,
now we know.
Now we know. Well, let's talk about some more action in the world of pro wrestling. Pro Wrestling Noah recently had Apex Conquest 2026. And the GHC Heavyweight Championship was on the line with Yoshika Inamura successfully once again retaining the championship, this time against Alpha Wolf. Tremendous hard-hitting action. And I tell you what, I was impressed too at the end of this, because now it looks like we've got Shane Hayes coming out to challenge for the GHC Heavyweight Championship. I love me some Shane Hayes from TMDK. That'll be interesting to see. Also, Los Tranquilos de Hopan successfully retaining their GHC Heavyweight Tag Team titles against Team 2000X. And talking about tremendous matchup for the junior heavyweight tag titles with champions Alejandro and Dragon Bane successfully retaining against the very popular team from the UK, Lycos Gym. Of course, Kid Lycos and Kid Lycos 2. But this was a solid show, man. You can go and catch a replay of it over on the Wrestle Universe app. You can also catch a replay of this on the Wrestle Universe app as well, because Sendai Girls recently held a show in Cork and Hall. This was a solid show, man. The big one on this one, we got new Sendai Girls Tag Team Champions, as Manami and Ryo Tsunami would defeat Bobo Momo Banana, the team of Mio Momanu and Yurika Oka. Try saying that 3 times fast. Also, Siri picking up a big win against Chihiro Hashimoto. But I tell you what, one of the best matches of the night by far was Das Chisako against Kurshia in a hardcore matchup. That was a badass matchup. Man, the finish of that with the splash off the top of the ladder, holy shit, crazy spot. Also, Senkei Akasuka retained her Sendai Girls Junior Championship against Spike Nishimura. But Sendai Girls is a man. There's so many great Joshi companies there in Japan, but Sendai Girls is definitely one of the top tier ones as well, right up there with a Stardom and a TJPW for sure. Well, it's one of the most wonderful times of year if you are a fan of junior wrestling, because the annual Best of Super Juniors tournament is upon us in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, I gotta say, B-roll, this may be one of the most loaded Super Juniors we've seen in a long time. First off, in the A block, we have Master Wato, Taguchi, yeah, Kozi Fujito, Robbie X, Francisco Akira, Doki, Titan Valentine Jr., or Valente Jr., I should say, Nick Wayne from AEW, and the deathmatch legend Jun Kasai competing in his first juniors tournament. That's going to be awesome. And then on B block side of things, we got El Desperado, Kushido, Yo, Robbie Eagles, Taiji Ishimura, Jacob Austin Young, Sho, Hayo, Yoshinibo Kanamura, and Daisuke Sasaki from DDT. So an incredible lineup of wrestlers coming to you here in the Super Juniors tournament. Of course, tune in here on PW60 as the Super Juniors tournament progresses, and we give you all the results of what's going to happen about this incredible round.
Right, who's going to win it?
Who's going to win? Ooh, that's a good. You know what? I'm going to keep the success going with the United Empire. I'm going to take Francisco Akira. I think he's going to
see that as like it being like a dark horse.
I think he's my dark horse. I
I
tell you who I would love to see. I'd love to see Daisuke Sasaki from DDT. It won't happen, but
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I could see El Desperado winning again, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, El Desperado's a pretty safe pick, I think, too. Doki, I think, is another one as well. So
I agree. Dark horse, Francisco Akira.
Yep, there you go. But we'll have the results of that in the coming weeks here on PW60. Well, Wrestling Dotaku is the next big event coming up in New Japan, coming up here in about a month or so. It's going to be a huge weekend, as we're going to have multiple nights of action. Night one main event may be in jeopardy, though. It's supposed to be Yoda Tsuji defending the International title against Gabe Kidd. That I don't know. We'll see if that match happens, but we do know Caleb Newman will defend his newly won IWGP Championship, Heavyweight Championship. His first title defense against will be former champion Shingo Takagi. That'll be on night 2. Also, you're going to get to see a Bolton Oleg challenge for the never openweight title against that damn no good, stinking rotten son of a bitch, Ren Narita from House of Torture. But the Wrestling Dontaku is going to have some incredible matches on it in New Japan, and that we'll have the results for that as well here in the coming months or so. Man, oh man, though, things are heating up and starting, though. We got to talk about this one. My gosh. My wrestler of the year, my female wrestler of the year, as you all know, Saya Kamitani, at it again, this time sneak attacking her challenger at Stardom Grand Kingdom, Kura Suyaka. This was a crazy ass attack. But we are on that road to All-Star Grand Kingdom coming up on April 26th. And of course, for all things Stardom, all things Joshi, we always go to our good friend, the Light Skin Gaijin, with a report on the actions of Saya Kamitani, as well as looking forward to All-Star Grand Kingdom. Check this out.
Saya, why you keep doing this? Huh? Why? What's the purpose? Every time somebody just wants to enjoy their day off, here you come popping up out of nowhere and just scaring the bejesus of not only me, but then the person who you end up attacking. Like what's the deal? You did it to Saori when you hid in the back of her SUV, and now you're doing it to poor Sayaka Kurara. Like, you are the living embodiment of an RKO. You just pop up out of nowhere. I will say this much. All-Star Grand Queendom's match is going to be very, very intriguing. Because if Sayaka Kurara loses, then Cosmic Angels must be forced to disband. And that will make the third faction in Stardom that Saya Kamitani is responsible for destroying. Listen, I know Oedo Tai just basically changed her name, but think about it. Saya Kamitani's heel turn forced Oedo Tai to change their name to Hate. It's that simple. But yeah, definitely check out All-Star Grand Queendom on April 26th.
Oh, thank you so much, Light Skin. And yeah, it's coming up April 26th. It's going to be a tremendous show. Of course, our next episode of PW60 will have all the results from arguably the biggest show of the year for Stardom, All-Star Grand Queendom. Well, this is some exciting news. Speaking of Joshi Wrestling, it was announced that Megumi Kudo is going to be inducted into the Deathmatch Hall of Fame. Cool thing is, this is going to take place at the MDK Fight Club show, which I'll be at. So I'm excited to see that, to see Megumi Kudo, the legend. If you're a longtime wrestling fan, you know, a prominent staple in FMW in the 90s, an incredible athlete and performer. So be pretty cool seeing her. God, I don't even know the last time when she's ever in the States too. So that's going to be awesome, man. But congratulations to her. So well deserved. Like I say, a pioneer in the world of Joshi wrestling and deathmatch wrestling as well. Got to talk about this too, man. Hikaru Shida's back in AEW, man. She came back a couple weeks ago, returning on that Collision to challenge against Willow Nightingale. Holy Shida, she's back. back and better than ever, man. She looks like $1 million. So happy to see Hikaru Shida. Arguably maybe the greatest AEW women's champion of all time. I mean, she's got the most runs, so but it's awesome to see her back in the ring.
I think a timeless one would have something to say about that.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong there. But I tell you what's beautiful is this right here. See all them belts? They gone. They no more. Mercedes Moné is officially beltless, folks. That's right. The run is over. Miss Moné, she had a hell of a run, but it has come to an end. No more belts for Mercedes. What do you think, man? I think, I think, you know what, though? At the end of the day, though, we joke and kid about her, but I mean, she did an awesome thing for a lot of those independent promotions, you know.
Yeah, I think honestly, when people look back on it, it probably will be talked about as like a kind of like, wow, what a run that actually was.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know. You asked me who could stop Tekla. Could we get a babyface Mercedes run? I don't know.
It could happen. It could happen. I wouldn't put it past her. It could be on the horizon, my friend.
I feel like I need to see like crazy Mercedes, like the freaking out about not having belts.
You could see a crazy Mercedes coming back to AEW here pretty soon. It could happen. Everybody watch out if that's the case. But nonetheless, hell of a run for Mercedes Moné. Love her or hate her, you got to give her credit where credit's due. We mentioned this earlier. Sad news. Kyle Fletcher is out indefinitely with an injury. What was it, Achilles or something like that? I think.
I don't know, but Kyle, just tell me whatever hurts and I'll rub it for you.
Yeah, we want you back sooner rather than later, but I think he is going to be out for a very extended period of time. So we here at PW6, we want to wish him well and hope that he recovers and is back at it.
He does have Sky Blue to rub it for him, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy, but I think she's got you beat there. So, but Kyle Fletcher, get well soon, buddy. We're going to miss you, and I'm sure when he comes back, he's going to be bigger and better than ever. This was a crazy story coming out this week. Taka Michinoku was involved in a serious car crash over in Japan. He's okay. First and foremost, Taka is okay. But I guess it was a scary affair. It's crazy here, too, because he was just in our neck of the woods a couple weeks ago as part of the Squared Circle Expo week.
That was my thoughts when I saw this. I was like, wait, it wasn't while he was in Indy, was it?
No,
I
it wasn't here.
If you've driven in Indianapolis, you got to
You would
watch out
know
for those potholes.
Yeah, yep, and there's a bunch of crazy drivers, too, so... but man, Taka Michinoku, we're glad you're okay. And I hope whatever injuries he may have sustained, I hope he gets to feeling better soon.
I'll rub those.
Fuck this shit. Okay. Ted DiBiase Jr., y'all know, you probably know, was involved in like a big scandal. Of course, he got acquitted because that's kind of what happens when you have money. Sorry, I said what I said. Yes, everybody has a price, and being the son of the $1 million man, there you go. Art imitating life, but this piece of shit got off, and now this piece of shit's going to be at WrestleCon. Fuck, I am staying in the same hotel that this motherfucker's going to be in. God damn it.
I'm surprised. Like, I'm like, not the whole acquitted part, but like.
That he's already going to be at a WrestleCon? Yeah, because he needs fucking money probably from all the shit he spent on the attorneys, and by God, his attorneys did their job, I guess you could say. But I know, let me say this, Ted DiBiase Jr., you and I are going to be staying in the same, we're going to be in the same hotel for several days. If I see you, and if you smell something vile and disgusting, just know, yeah, I farted in your general direction, because that's how I fucking feel about you. Anyways, I need something to take my mind off this bullshit. Let's go to Brian with Brian's Random Moment of the Week here on PW60.
In the words of Peter Gabriel at the beginning of the song Big Time, hi there, back again. You know who it is. You know what it is. That's right. Brian's House, the random moment of the week. 2 minutes or so random, whatever you want to call it. That's cool. All right, so back again and thinking about something as we go into WrestleMania weekend coming up. We're right around the corner. But not just WrestleMania itself, but also the indie events that go on for different companies that take place in Las Vegas this year. And I was thinking about something also. We think about how one of the big news stories right now is how TNA is canceling matches against AEW contracted talent. And we obviously know why, because let's just call a spade, as been mentioned before. that TNA pretty much has a partnership, or in bed you might say, with the WWE. And now, of course, we're seeing the effects of it, where it's like, oh, now, by the way, we can tell you who you cannot work with and who you can, all this stuff. Your Nick Nemeth can wrestle this person, but not this person, or whatever. So, got me thinking about a what-if scenario. And now this is a what-if that actually took place a few years ago, but ended. But what if it was still happening today? So let's say in this what-if scenario, what if AEW and TNA had a partnership? You're thinking, well, Brian, didn't they before? Yes, they did. Remember, during the end of the pandemic, there was times in part of 2021 and so on that they actually worked together. Remember Kenny Omega doing the belt collector gimmick, and he had the TNA world title as part of that? Well, I want to ask this question. What if AEW and TNA not just had a partnership, but still had a partnership? Of course, we know, and this would be obviously no partnership of TNA, WWE. How do you think it would impact the current, impact, pun intended, by the way, current culture of TNA, AEW, the Indies, and even WWE? So comment below what you think. What if TNA and AEW were still partners from then even through till now? And have yourself a tremendous rest of the week.
Well, thank you so much, Brian. That is a tremendous question. Makes you wonder what it would be like if they were still partners. So, but man, thank you so much, Brian. You are such, like I say, you're such a ray of light. You make me smile. Like, it just makes me, God damn it. Now we got to talk about this. Well,
no, just focus on Brian. Focus on Brian. Go to your happy
Brian's a good
place.
man. Brian's a good man. You know
This
who
guy
is
is not a good man.
This piece of shit. Alberto Del Rio's been arrested. Shocking. For domestic violence. Shocking. Please, I'm begging you, all promoters all over the world, Mexico especially, do not fucking book this piece of shit. He deserves nothing. He deserves to be in prison time. I hope he does get prison time. And I hope, like, he gets tore in too, if you understand what I'm saying. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit. This is some bullshit news here too as well. So we reported on this a couple weeks ago about this stabbing at a wrestling show. Well, come to find out, it was a big ruse, all by the promotion, was RCW or whatever. It was all a bunch of bullshit. It happened at the Berwyn Eagles, which is an established venue to host pro wrestling. Has hosted some big matches over the years. It's like one of the go-tos in Chicago. Well, guess what? Because of all this bullshit, because of this company coming in, pretty much doing this stupid shit, they've ruined it for everybody, and now they are no longer going to host wrestling events at this venue. It's a sad day in Chicago. If you're a fan in Chicago, this was like a institution there, almost like a 2300 arena, almost like the Sportatorium, you know, like just these historic venues, and now it's fucking, yeah, now it's nothing. So here we are. Fucking assholes. And like now you're seeing those guys are probably not going to be booked on stuff. Mainly Cruel was pulled from a lot of stuff. I mean, he was in on this. It's like, what the fuck? A bunch of dumbasses. Just don't do stupid shit. You know? Just don't do stupid shit. And this was stupid. I need something happier. Now this excites me. The AEW will be hosting the Fairway to Hell on Saturday, May 9th at the West Palm Beach floor at the SoFi Center. Now, if you don't know, this is the virtual golf arena. Yes, virtual golf is a thing. Tiger Woods has even done it, even though Tiger Woods is kind of in some hot water right now again. Imagine that. But this is going to be a pretty dope-ass show. I think this is actually, though, a lot of people are already talking to, I guess, I think WWE's running something that weekend or something. It's like, okay, whatever. I'm going to go to this show because I'm not going to have to take out a mortgage to go to the other show, number one. Number two, it's going to be a lot more entertaining, in my opinion, as well. So, and the fact that it's in a golf, like, I'm sure there's going to be some elements of golf involved in this. Very fascinating, to say the least. And sad story to end us out this week, but we lost another great in the world of pro wrestling. Flying Fred Curry. Now, a lot of you fans probably not familiar with that name. Fred Curry was a phenomenal performer in the 1960s and 70s, and is often referred to as the first real high flyer in pro wrestling. He was a trailblazer unlike any other. Look him up on YouTube. You're going to see like some of the best drop kicks. He's probably had one of the better drop kicks in pro wrestling, if not the best drop kick. Had some tremendous stories he told throughout the years, some rivalries. Big out of the Detroit area, had a huge rivalry with the Sheik, of course, another popular name in the Detroit area too. But the wrestling world is saddened to learn of this loss of the great Fred Curry. We here at PW60, we want to wish our condolences to the family and just thank you so much for sharing him with us. What a trendsetter, what a trailblazer. I mean, like, seriously, do yourself a favor, go look him up on YouTube. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. One of the all-time greats, and he is no longer with us, but he's up there in that squared circle in heaven looking down now. So rest in peace to the late great Fred Curry. Well, B-roll, somehow we've done it again. We've talked about everything that happened this past week in the world of pro wrestling, and we got another big week ahead of us. Of course, the biggest week of all, as we said earlier. Don't forget to check us out here next week for Collective Week, and we'll be back here on PW60 in 2 weeks. We'll have the results from All-Star Grand Queendom. We're on the road to Double or Nothing now, and so much more. All be coming to you in a couple weeks. But seriously, everybody enjoy this week. This is our Christmas. This is our Super Bowl week. Regardless of what company you watch or follow, just enjoy wrestling. I'm Xlj the Og. This is Mr. B-Roll, and we'll see you next time on another episode of PW60. Everybody take care. Bye.